In the world of artificial intelligence, few figures have had as profound an impact as David Silver, the mind behind AlphaGo and AlphaZero. In this insightful interview on the Google DeepMind podcast, Silver lays out a bold and thought-provoking vision for AI's next frontier, what he calls the era of experience. For the past decade, the AI landscape has been dominated by large language models trained on vast amounts of human data. These systems, impressive as they are, rely heavily on absorbing and reproducing everything humanity has ever written. But Silver challenges this paradigm. He argues that to truly go beyond human capabilities, AI must stop mimicking and start discovering. This shift, Silver says, is not just philosophical, it's necessary. The bitter lesson of AI, as he calls it, is that human knowledge, while a powerful starting point, ultimately becomes a ceiling. Systems like AlphaZero proved that learning without human data, through self-play and trial and error, can yield even more powerful results. AlphaZero, with no prior knowledge of Go, chess, or shogi, became superhuman in all three games simply by playing against itself, improving iteratively from scratch. The turning point? Move 37. In AlphaGo's game against Lee Sedol, this now legendary move redefined how the game of Go could be played. It was a move so unlikely and creative, no human would have thought to play it. And yet, it won the game. For Silver, Move 37 symbolizes the core promise of the experience-based approach, unbounded discovery.
Move 37 was a move that happened in the second game of AlphaGo against Lee Sedol. AlphaGo played a move that defied everyone's expectations. The traditional idea in the game of Go is that you play your moves typically on the third line or the fourth line of the board, because this either gives you territory for the third line or influence on the fourth line. And you never go below or above that. It just wouldn't make sense to humans. AlphaGo played on the fifth line, and it somehow played this in a way that just made everything make sense in the board. It kind of connected everything together with this move on the fifth line. And it was so alien to humans that we estimated that only 1 in 10,000 probability that a human would ever think of playing this move. Humans were shocked by this move, and yet it helped win the game. And so it was a moment where humans said, look, here's something creative that happened, something that a machine came up with that was different from the way humans traditionally thought about the game, that actually was a big piece of progress and took us beyond the kind of confines of human knowledge.
Silver envisions a future where AI systems are no longer anchored to human judgments, which he sees as unavoidably biased and limiting. For instance, today's large language models are refined using reinforcement learning from human feedback, RLHF, a method that improves responses based on what a human rater thinks is good. But Silver contends that this method, while helpful for usability, can prevent systems from exploring radically better solutions that humans might not recognize or understand. He calls instead for grounded feedback, where models are evaluated based on real-world outcomes, not human expectation. Like baking a cake, not judging the recipe on paper, but tasting the cake. Only through such tangible outcomes, Silver argues, can AI truly learn and innovate. This principle has been extended to another remarkable project, AlphaProof. Unlike language models that often hallucinate mathematical arguments, AlphaProof learns to construct formally verifiable proofs. Trained on millions of math theorems, with no access to existing human solutions, it has already achieved silver medal-level performance in the International Math Olympiad. It even solved a problem that less than 1% of top young mathematicians could crack. But this isn't about one-off victories. What excites Silver is the potential for systems that keep learning forever, just like AlphaZero, systems that generate their own data, test their own hypotheses, and explore beyond human limits. Still, Silver doesn't ignore the risks. He stresses that as we step into the era of experience, we must be cautious and thoughtful. Metrics like health or success are multifaceted. If AI systems are to optimize goals like these, they must also learn which signals matter and how to adapt based on real feedback, not rigid human-defined metrics that can backfire, like in the classic paperclip maximizer thought experiment.
I'd be the first to agree that when you mindlessly pursue a metric in the human world, that it often leads to undesired consequences. At the same time, the whole world of human endeavor is organized around us optimizing for some things. If we didn't have anything that we could optimize for, we wouldn't ever be able to make progress. We have all kinds of signals and metrics and so forth that drive progress, and then people say, oh, maybe that isn't the right metric, and they adapt.
Ultimately, Silver sees reinforcement learning as the sustainable fuel for AI compared to the fossil fuel of human data. The latter can only take us so far. To reach superhuman intelligence, he argues, we must give machines the tools to experience the world, make their own discoveries, and define new boundaries of knowledge. His reflections are not just about algorithms, they're about what it means to learn, to grow, and to go beyond what we thought possible. In the final segment of the interview, we revisit the historic moment AlphaGo beat professional player Fan Hui, a game that, for Fan, broke his Go world, but opened a new one. Silver and Fan reminisce on that time not just as a technical milestone, but as a deeply personal journey, one that changed minds and inspired a generation. As the podcast ends, one thing is clear. If the era of experience is truly dawning, we're standing on the edge of a new age in AI, one that just might redefine intelligence itself.